Hello, hello. Now you guys can hear me. That's probably better. Cool. Just if you guys can hear me, just say hi in the chat. That'd be awesome. Looks like Moses, Sally, thank you for joining, buddy. Chrissy, Mike, hello everybody. This is my first live stream in quite a while. I did one a few years ago, so now I am back. Yeah, I was muted at the beginning, but can you hear me now? Yeah, I think you could probably hear me now. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, thanks everybody joining. I thought I could just jump in here. We can chat a little bit about Vue and Amplify Studio, and we can just jump into it. Hi in the chat. Hi Samuel. Hi Chris. Hi Rahi. Hi Shroof. Hi Chrissy. Hi The Love Muscles. Hi Erik. Cool. Hi Islam. Thanks for joining. Thanks for jumping in here. And cool. Yeah, so I thought we would start. If anybody has any questions, I do have like a little bit of a demo. We can jump into some code and just get started that way. So if you guys have any questions, just throw it in the chat. Otherwise, we'll jump into some coding. We'll look at some code. If you guys want to see my background, people always ask me about the background. This is this right here. This is a Nintendo set that I got. It's the Lego set. So it comes with this Look NES right here. And then it also comes right here too, this TV. And then right here, that's my YouTube play button. That's my degree. And some Star Wars pieces. Here's like when I was in Mexico, I took a picture with my family there. I got a nice slinky as well. And you can't see it from here, but on this side, I'm a Swiftie. I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. So I put I have a big picture of Taylor Swift autographed, which is pretty fun. Cool. Yeah, hi Oscar. So thoughts on Amplify versus set up services individually? That's the first question. Yeah. So what do I think about that? So for Amplify, so if you don't know, Amplify is like a set of tools to help web and mobile developers create full stack applications using our AWS services. And it depends on what your needs are. So if you're looking to create, if you're using Cognito or you're using our managed GraphQL AppSync backend, if you need to add a database like DynamoDB, if you're using S3, those are all great things you can use with Amplify and its set of services. And I would highly recommend to use Amplify in that situation. So if you actually have some situations where Amplify doesn't make a whole lot of sense, then there's ways of using custom CDK to do what you want to do. And there's ways of like extracting everything out of Amplify if you need to. But for a whole lot of situations, Amplify is the way to go. Hey Vidat, thanks for coming in. So yeah, we can jump in to my desktop here. Let's see here. Okay, so here I have some code, and well, I have a web page and I have my VS Code open. So I thought we'll just hide the primary sidebar, that we can play around with some of this code here. And I will be keeping a watch on the chat as well. Let's see here. Cool. Hi, Jan. Thanks for joining us. Hi from tomorrow to yesterday. Awesome. Okay. So I'll take requests too if some people want to see certain things. But so if you don't know, I'm a front-end engineer, but I'm also a developer advocate for AWS. Amplify. So Amplify, like I said, here's the dev center here. Here's the documentation for it. But what I really try to focus on is these components here. So we have a whole set of components to add to your application, like dividers and headers. We have alerts. We have loaders. And then we also have connected components. So like this is our authenticator. This connects to like our Cognito backend. It adds authentication flows. You can see here you have a create account and sign in. We have account settings as well. And then this is in developer preview right now. We have our geo, which is like adding a map resource to your application. And we have storage, which right now the only thing we have under there is file uploader. So I actually helped design and create this, which I'm pretty proud of. It's still in developer preview, but yeah, like let's say if I grab Snow here, then it would show here and I can upload it. So this is a few things that we have in here, and we also have in-app messaging, which is a service to provide UI components for displaying in-app messages. Cool. Okay, I have, there's a couple of questions. Hi, Pow. Thanks for joining. Vue is better than React. I'm a big fan of Vue, but, React is great too. It just depends on what you guys are looking for. Oh, Maverick says, hi, Erik. Do you think Nuxt content is doing any better? So I'm assuming you're referring to Nuxt 3 content? So Nuxt 3 content, I believe, is out right now. And yep, you can see right here. Well, that's the Nuxt directory structure. But I believe they recently released Nuxt content. I haven't tried it with Nuxt 3 yet, but it seems to be very powerful. Nuxt reads the content directory, so you can do Markdown, YAML, CSV, JSON files. Looks pretty neat. I definitely want to try it out with Nuxt 3. So yeah, it has built for Nuxt 3. For a long time, Nuxt 3 didn't have a lot of the features that Nuxt 2 had. And I've seen definitely in the last 6 months, like almost all the major features have moved over from Nuxt 2 to Nuxt 3, which is awesome. So definitely worth looking into more of. All right, let's just jump into some code. Feel free, leave any questions, comments in the chat room, and I'll just I'll look at them. And then also, if we have any, this will be available afterwards. I'll leave the video up. All right, so I thought maybe what I could do to play around with some code is show some of these components right here and show how they work. So the easiest way I thought to do that was I'm just going to create a new app. Now this is only for React, these components. The other, the authenticator works for Vue as well. So I'm going to do Vite at latest. And then we're going to select the defaults here. Now my computer's a little slow, so I don't know, Vue, we'll do React component test, and we'll use React, and we'll use TypeScript. And I won't have a route or anything, but I'm going to npm install AWS Amplify UI React and AWS Amplify. So this is the libraries that we need for this new React component. So this will just take a moment. Where's everybody from? If you guys feel free to throw in the chat where you guys are coming from in this chat room. I know we have a delay. I'll start. I'm in Reno, Nevada. So born and raised, so I'm in northern Nevada. It is close to Lake Tahoe. And I love it here. I know my bitrate's going down a little bit, but I think you guys can still all hear me. Oh, New Zealand. That's awesome. It's awesome, Mike. So here, New York. Wow, all the way from Norway. That's awesome, Samuel. Yeah, I will hopefully be in New York in a month or two time. I'll be meeting some people, so that'll be fun. All right. Okay, so I installed the libraries I need, and what I'm going to do is, my computer's a little weird. I'm using Windows here and using Windows Subsystem for Linux instead of like a Mac. So I can't, when I do code and I open it up, it doesn't quite work out. So I'm just going to open the new folder here. So let's see here. I think we're going to go into the YouTube components folder, component test. I'm going to select that one. Belgium, that's great. Cairo, wow. I want to go Cairo. It's an amazing place, I hear. All right, so I got my app running here. And YouTube components. Okay, I'm in the right folder now. And yeah, one thing I like to do is, since I'm using Vite, if I ever wanted to add in like connected components or anything, there's actually a quick thing you have to do for Vite. And we are in the process of updating this, so you don't have to do this every time. But you have to add some special configuration for Vite apps. If you have Create React app, you don't have to do this. But I can go into, let's see here. We'll go into index.html. And then right here, I'll save it. And don't worry about this ESLint error. And then I need to go in and add in this resolve in the Vite config. Vite config. Let's see. Okay. So now I think that's all we have to do. Oh, we can add the skip live check. I think this is only if we're going to do some different types of building. So I'm using VS Code here. I'm using the Synthwave 84. Because you don't really have to do this. This skip live. Oh, it's already true, so we're fine. And then I'm using Synthwave 84, and that's what that makes it a little bit glowing right here. Okay, so let's try run dev. Of course, it's Vite. Just takes a few seconds to open. So we'll go localhost 5173. Okay, I have a question. Where to save big data in components or store, Vuex or Pinia? Yeah, so for data, for Vue, normally what I do is I use Pinia because it's kind of the recommended way. Vuex and Pinia kind of, they actually combined forces last year. So if you are using any new Vue 3 apps, I would just use Pinia. It depends on how much data. If you're trying to save data between like multiple siblings, and like you have multiple components and you have multiple nested components and you're trying to pass data between them, then that's where you may need a store. If you have a lot of data that you're trying to get from the back end, you can kind of put that into the stores too, or put it into like a service file. But yeah, Pinia is the way to go though. All right, so back to this app. So it looks like it's running. Vite and React. So now we can go to the app TSX file. I don't know, I'm going to just delete all this stuff here. I'm just going to be playing around here. I'm going to be making mistakes. You guys keep me honest in the chat. Okay, so delete everything in there. I don't need this. Don't need the logo. I don't think I use the use state right now. I don't really like. I'm going to go to the CSS. I have a very clicky keyboard if you haven't already noticed. I don't think, yeah. I think I'm going to get rid of these two. I don't really care about these. Yeah, I'm going to delete this. And then I already removed the import, but I guess we just don't really need any of this. Maybe I should keep the import just for, I don't like text align center, but I do like the max width in here. So let's go back to the TSX file. I don't know. Can we undo? There it is. Okay. And then right here, let's see here. We can do H1, hello world. Hey, there's our hello world. Okay, looks good. Mike's asked a question. Have you used Vue query, Erik? Wonder if anyone used that for data in a different store for app state. So it sounds like React query. I have not used Vue query. So I'm curious, what is that all about? Ooh, it's posted on a Vercel app. Provides hooks for fetching. Yeah, I know. I am familiar with React query. Yeah, based on React query. I didn't know I didn't know that someone created a Vue query. This sounds interesting. Definitely something we can play around with. Maybe later we can mess around with this. I'll probably be on for about an hour. Another half hour here. Interesting. I like this. Yeah, Mike, if you know anything about it, let me know. Leave in the chat what you see, what you know about this. Let's see here. Here is Damien. Looks like, I always look at these, looks like it has quite a bit of stars. That's a good sign. I like to see like new packages like this to have some traction. It's been around for a couple of years. Package is migrated to be part of TanStack query. Let's see here. TanStack. Powerful asynchronous state management for TS/JS React. Huh. This would be something to be interesting to play around with, see what it's all about. I'll definitely add that to my list. Hi, Lucas. You're asking TanStack query view. Yeah, that's Lucas was saying that sometimes stores like using a Pinia store. I mean, back in the day, for us that have been around for a while, if you look at the console here, yeah, you would just add everything to, like, you could literally put everything on the window object if you wanted to, and then you can even have that be globally in your app, or just like just global variables in general inside your app. So that's one thing that stores give you that are a little bit better than, I suppose, than just adding global variables everywhere, is that they're all, there's a very nuanced and organized way that you can add in global state or state and stores that you can pull out to different parts of your application. And it also, I would say it just organizes it in a much cleaner way. But if you don't want to put everything in your store, because then like a lot of presentational features you may want to keep just inside the component that you're having, like stateful variables that control different things. You probably don't want to put all those into the store, or any of those into the store. All right, we'll continue on. So we've gotten, it seems like we got in here, but I wanted to see if we want to add in this component library, which are all these components in here. We'll import this in and we'll see if we get any problems. So first we'll need to import in, let's start with something simple. We know that div, we have something for divs. We can probably use something called a view. So we'll do view from AWS UI React. And then we'll just replace this with a view. View. And if we go back to our app here, yep, still looks like the same way we did before. I should have auto refreshed. And then this H1, instead of using H1, we can pass in heading. So instead of H1 here, we can do heading. Heading. And then this heading takes a few a few props that you can pass in. So one is, I believe, called level. And this level I can put in 1 for heading 1, 2, 3. So I don't know if I do 3 here, And let's make this a little smaller. Yep, you can see it's a little smaller. But I don't know if I change it to, I'll make this bigger too. 300%. If I do to 1, it's even bigger. But if I do like 4, it's smaller. Okay, so we know it's working. So, you know, not too interesting right now, but we know we have views and headings. Hi, Mornar. I have a question from Zhao. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. All right. Hello, Erik. What's the best way to manage a user session with any SPA framework, session storage, local storage, or is there another way that is more secure and safe? So I can tell you, okay, so if you have user session data, it depends on like how you are tracking that session data. Like let's say you're using cookies or like server-side cookies is one way to save session data. Depending on your back end, it could also depend on how this is done. So like, for example, I could show you guys later, but if you, now I'm just trying to make this a little bigger. Yeah, if we go into our official documentation for the Amplify, there is something called this Amplify Authenticator, which you come down here to Authenticator, and that adds authentication flows to your app. And if you click here, this is our JavaScript library, which, by the way, we already installed. And we can, through Amplify, we can add auth in. We do this through the CLI or something called Studio. And when you do authentication, it keeps track of your authenticated user by using local storage. So it actually saves all the keys, the access key and the ID, the identity profile, and the access keys, they're all saved into local storage. So I guess this answer to your question is that it depends on what sort of back end that you have. And I would say that usually session data is stored like in like session cookies. But with Amplify, you can kind of actually even choose. You can do a cookie storage, or you can, I believe it defaults to local storage, and it's pretty secure both ways. Hopefully that answers your questions. Oh, I have another question. I don't like CSS in JS. It slows down my application development a lot. What do you think about CSS in JS? I'm of all the different ways to do CSS and JS, I really like using, well, for my React applications, I do a ton of Vue, but when I do React, I like to use CSS modules. I think that's the easiest for me. If you don't know what those are, if you go to React CSS modules, it really makes a lot of sense to me adding that in, and this is what I prefer to do, and it just makes sense to me when I'm using it. I don't do style dictionary or anything like that. I just use CSS modules. And it's pretty simple to add. Okay. Yeah, Alexander. Hello. Welcome. We're just talking about a little bit of Vite, a little bit of answering questions. If anybody has questions, feel free to ask. And we're looking at the Amplify UI components library. So we've only looked at a few components so far. We can add a few more. So we added a view and a heading in, but I think like some of the nicer ones, like menu, you can add a little menu bar. Another thing too, to get the right styling in here, is we have a whole style library here. So I can do styles.css. And that'll add all the correct styles, especially, see, changed it a little bit. But if I want to add something like a menu in, I don't know, let's do this. Let's create, I'm just gonna make this up. Let's create a new folder called components. And inside components, we're going to create a new file. I'm gonna call it my header.jsx. Okay. Well, we'll make it TSX. Not the greatest name, but Okay. And then from here, we'll export function export function, if I spell this right, my header, and it's going to return, I don't know, an empty nav. Totally misspelled that. Nav. Inside the nav, I'm just going to put in hello. And then back in my app tsx file, let's import that in. And I'm going to move this up here. Now I'll leave it there. Import in, we'll call it my header. Header from dot components slash my header. And then we'll add it to the top here. My header. Okay, see a hello there. And we'll, yeah, do this. My header. Obviously that's too much, but let's take a look at the menu. Hey, Sally. Sally is excellent developer, so incredibly good at Flutter. How one can do the glowy fonts that you were VS Code. Yeah. Yeah. The glowy fonts. So this is part of a extension or theme called Synthwave 84. And it does all the fun glowy font stuff. Actually, I have a video on it. I should post this right here. I'll post it in the chat. I think I have a short on it. Hey, David. Thanks for checking out. No problem, Zhao. All right. Where are we? Okay. I just want to show a few things in here. So let's just copy this whole menu. Well, I don't want to copy the whole thing. Let's copy this whole... Well, let's try it first. Let's try to do this first ourselves. So if we can do a flex. I wonder if it's smart enough now. We'll import flex from AWS UI React. And then we can also then do menu, and menu item. You can see here if we want it, we can do menu sizes. Let's do this. Also, what's nice, you can do we can do some style props here. So I can put flex. I can do flex. I can do direction. Like I want to do, I don't know, column. And then inside here, I always forget. Yeah, we don't want this. Let's do this. And then inside here, I don't know. Let's copy and paste some of this. No, I don't want this all. Let's add a menu. And then inside the menu here, we can do size. So I don't know. Size equals small. And then we can do menu items. I'm just going to copy and paste these in here. All right. And if I want to, I can even put a width here, but let's see. Come back. Oh, cool. So now I have a very huge button, but you can see I created a drop down right now. So let's add a width to this. Let's see. What did they do in the example? They did 4 rem. I don't know. What's it look like at 3 rem? Okay. Yeah. All right. So now we have like our little drop down menu here that we can use if we wanted to. I guess we can add some margin too. So if we want to do margin bottom, I don't know, let's try this. 2 rem. Let's kind of make this smaller. Make this, move this over. Yeah. And we can make this a little less big. Let's save it. Yeah, so now I brought it down. Hey, Amar. I'm doing fine. I'm just playing around on this live stream, showing off the new Amplify Studio. Not Amplify Studio, Amplify UI component library. Has a bunch of different components. Hi, I make the sites. Let's see, I have a question. Let's see here. Today, a recruiter sent me an email saying he has a great high-paying Vue.js opportunity, but they're only looking for Vue developers who are currently in Vue positions. I told them I was interested, but they aren't enough Vue positions to hire everyone who wants to do it. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. It is pretty competitive out there with all jobs right now, especially web development. You know, there's the economy. A lot of tech companies have gone through layoffs, and a lot of other stuff has happened. And even smaller companies have kind of taken the same outlook as the larger companies and have been only looking for developers who have a lot more experience. And that has been a little bit hard. So I would say the Vue positions out there, if you're looking for a job, you might want to look at the local job boards in your area to find out what is out there and try to see what skills people are looking for. You may find out that in the city you're in, there's more React jobs. It could be more Vue jobs. And then try to cater your resume and your interviews to what people are looking for. And that just depends on where you live. And if you don't have the experience in Vue and you're trying to get a Vue job, there's definitely a company out there that will hire you. You just have to kind of look hard. It's out there, and that means making a very good, working really hard on your resume, working hard on putting together a very succinct portfolio. It might mean some networking locally in the area that you are. It might mean sending out quite a few emails, connecting with people on LinkedIn, just to try to get your foot in the door to get some of those interviews. It's not impossible. Don't get discouraged by one recruiter. The future of Vue is stagnant. The basis won't grow. Thanks. Yeah, it's not just Vue that has hundreds of positions. It's React jobs, web development jobs in general, especially those at the lower end, are getting flooded with resumes. So it's definitely not that. Vue has definitely been growing. If you look at NPM downloads, if you look at trends, and the State of JavaScript survey that just came out for this year, Vue is definitely still in the top. It's still growing. It's just all the other frameworks are growing as well. And so I think there's plenty of space for everyone out there. Okay. Pa had a question. Have you ever used Vuex ORM? If yes, then what do you think about it? I have not used Vuex ORM. Well, let me rephrase that. I've used Vuex and I've used ORMs, but I have not used Vuex ORM. So this sounds very, very interesting. I have worked with quite a few clients that for Vue help in the past, and I don't remember any. I think maybe one of them used Vuex ORM. This is interesting. I wonder does this work well with Vue 3? I'm curious. Like, does this, because I saw it's like classic OOP there looked like for a second. Just kind of the way they're defining these models with classes. I don't know if I like this. I don't know. I'm sure it's fine. I don't even know. Oh, they have ORM next. I don't even know. Is this even Vue 3 compatible? I bet you this doesn't even work with Vue 3. I would be wary about using this. Vue 3. Yeah. I'm not sure about this. I would say stay clear unless you're having some legacy project that's using it. I don't know enough about this to definitively say, but it seems like it's kind of an older project, and I've seen a lot of these older Vue projects are not, a lot of them are not as maintained, and they haven't been upgraded to Vue 3. And usually that's a good sign if they have upgraded to Vue 3. And if it hasn't, then that'd be a very bad sign of using it. All right. So you had to, so I make the sites, you had to stick with React to now to stay employed. And I definitely hear that. And that's okay. Like if you have to stick with React, you know, I'm a big Vue fan, but I understand that I'm doing this demo right now in React, and I think there's plenty of space out there. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with React or any other framework out there. If you can only get a job in your area for React, then go for React. I mean, it's fine. But having multiple frameworks under your belt is really nice to have, especially for employers. And as you kind of work around the world, the job hunting world out there. Hi, Mike. Hi, Sess White. Mike Tasai. What is RxJS? Why is RxJS not so common in Vue's world? Well, I have used quite a bit of RxJS in the Angular world. I think that's where most people use it in. And I know at one time they were thinking about even adding like RxJS as like the next version of ECMAScript would have like some features from RxJS in it. And I just think that it came down to the maintainers not wanting to add extra libraries into their default package. Like I know React and Vue really wanted to scale down what they delivered, while Angular was more like batteries included, like RxJS is in here. These type observable patterns are here. Observable has been thrown around a lot lately. A lot of people are talking about signals. I just did a video about it. I guess signals is sort of like observables in some ways. But I think the only ecosystem I know that's really deep dive into RxJS is the Angular community. Now, there's definitely React projects that use RxJS too, and it's a fantastic library. I love it. Like I love the idea of piping data and changing it, and like all these cool things you can do with it. Like you can pipe it everywhere, scan it, you can change it, you can throttle it. Like it's all built into this library. So it's really powerful when you start thinking of everything as an observable. It just hasn't caught on with anything other than the Angular community. I can't speak for the back end. Maybe someone else can. Cool. Oh, I got some other questions here. Hey, Brad. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, Vue's awesome. I am extremely happy with it. Hi, Mario. Yeah, so yeah, some good conversation in the chat. So I'm going to continue on. So we now, in my amazing app here, I have a drop-down menu. It says download and create copy in a hello world. So I could add in some more features here. Like let's say, I'm just going to make this up as I go. Let's an on-click handler, and I'll just do alert saying hi. Let's see if that works. And we'll go here. Cool. Yep, seems to be working as expected. What other things could we do? If we come back over here, we have so many different components that we can use. Let's see what an alert box. Let's see if we can add an alert in. So here is an alert. So let's go back to app TSX. And here's my header. Now, obviously, if this is a real app, I'd probably add in React Router, DOM, and then create like some layout pages. And I was considering doing that, but since you know, we don't have all day to do it, I probably won't mess around with that. But maybe for the next 10 minutes here, I'll just show you a couple more of these components. So we're gonna add an alert. Alert is dismissible. Let's see what it looks like. All right, yeah, here's my alert. But we should be able to like change colors on it. So here we can add different variations. So heading, alert heading. So my heading, let's see here. My heading. I have a very clicky keyboard, by the way. And then from here, I can add in variation. And we can do error, info. This is what I love about TypeScript. Just, I don't have to look at the docs. I can just hit my command space or control space and find out what other places. Let's see what's the error one looks like. Oh, cool. So yeah, we got a red one here. Let's see here. I need to get my hotkeys down so I can change this more quicker. Let's see here. So I got variation error, info, that's kind of blue, and then warning. There it is. It's gray or kind of orangish color. That's pretty neat. Now, one thing, I don't know if I'll have time, but you can change these default colors too. So we can look a little bit into theming. Oh, hi Mario. Let's see here. I think we have another question. What do you think that Astro shares in his landing page that WordPress is more faster in performance than Nuxt or Vue? So what do I think that Astro shares in his landing page that WordPress is more faster in performance than Nuxt and Vue? There's a lot of people talking about Astro lately and Solid. And honestly, I have not used Astro at all. It's one of those other frameworks that it's kind of on my backlist of things to look at. But it seems like it's designed for speed. Everybody says it's super duper fast. I think if I had to choose between all these kind of new, crazy new frameworks that are jumping out, I'm really looking at Solid. Solid looks awesome. One thing I don't love about React, and for the React experts listening right now, I apologize for butchering this, but I don't love having to worry about dependency arrays every time I add my use state and having to deal with inconsequential re-rendering all the time and not doing that correctly. And I really love how Solid kind of hides and abstracts all that out, especially with its signals. So that's what I can say. I will tell you on the Vue side, Evan Yu, and I spoke to him, name dropping here. When I spoke to him about a month ago, he was really excited about this new feature in Vue called Vapor. And Vapor is like this new way of handling. I'm sure they're going to rename it, but it's like this new way of handling the re-rendering engine. Right now, Vue uses like these compiler optimizations for it, and this new Vapor mode is supposed to kind of be more like Solid, where it's almost it uses a deeper type of. It doesn't use a virtual DOM. It's supposed to be kind of a quicker way of rendering, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what that's all about. He mentioned a little bit in a blog post that this is coming, and I can't wait to see more about it. Yeah, Golang's awesome. Yeah, I like Rust. I think Rust is like the hotness right now. People are talking about that a lot, but Golang is solid. All right, let's see here. So one thing I was going to show in my demo here is that you can add theming in on here. So if we go back over here, you can see you can add in this theme provider. So if we go back let's see here. I think we have to go to the main TSX file. I can import in this theme provider from AWS Amplify, and then I need to surround my app by it. And then the theme provider takes an object in that you can use to style your components. And then you can also do these tokens too, if you want to. There's a whole idea behind using tokens and design tokens behind the philosophy of our theming. But you can also just pass in a theme in here. So theme. And I think the best thing to do to show this would be to come in here, new file. We'll call it, I don't know, theme dot JS or TS, I should say. And then we can export const theme, and we can theme it like this. And then we can import, I think it's called theme, from AWS Amplify UI React. Let's see if this is working. Still loading my TypeScript checking. Sometimes when this happens, I have to like reload the window. And then I just wait a second. And my VS Code is initializing. Import theme. So while it's thinking here, we should be able to use the theme here. And the way we do that, we can put a name. I don't know, my theme. And then we can add in tokens. And we'll have colors in those tokens. And then we'll have a font. And we can add primary values and value. So we'll wait until my, you know what I need to do? I think I have an Angular extension that I need to get rid of. This Angular language services, I just want to disable it for right now. Sometimes it's trying to do stuff it's not supposed to. Okay, so there we go. So now, I wonder now if we go into our main TSX file, can we import it in? Let's see here, theme, export const theme from theme. And then can we pass it in to theme here? And then I wonder, okay, here it is. So we can see all the different things we have in here to do all our different tokens we can override. And I wonder if under colors, we have background blue, and with green, neutral, orange, pink, purple, red. I'm not sure this is going to work, but we're going to try it. So if I go back to, so we have primary here, but we also have primary, secondary, success. What did we put in that? If we go back to the TSX file, we did alert was variation warning. So I wonder if this would work. This may not work, but warning. Okay, cool. You can see it changed the color to this greenish color right here. I wonder, so now if I do red, would that work? Yeah, cool. So now it changed it to red. So you can see here's, I was able to add in like a global theme. Yeah, that's awesome. And now I wonder if I can do the background here too. So I wonder if that's not under font. So sometimes I have to like remember how so we can also do CSS overrides, of course. But we have amplify alert warning, amplify flex. This is where I have to look stuff up. So we can override different colors, like our shadow, teal, transparent. And then inside here, we can, I wonder if you can also override the background of it. I'll have to double check on that. I'm not sure, but at least we can definitely do the text. And then we can do like a CSS override for the background of the alert, which is pretty neat. I wonder if there's anything else in here. No, we just have value. Green. Yeah, there's the green there. I wonder if we come back here. If we add this background and we add this to purple. No, that's not how you do it. The string has to, oh, maybe purple. Value purple. Oh, I could do background. Oh, here it is. Background. This was warning. Do we have warning? Cool. So here's warning here. Now I wonder if this is another value. Here it is. Now I'm going to try to make this background purple. Hey, we did it. So now we're able to set up a theme that we added into our app.tsx file, and we were able to change kind of the look and feel of this whole one inside here. All right, so I think I am going to call it a day. Thank you for everybody for the questions. I'm going to be trying to doing this maybe once a week. I'm experimenting with it to see how this works, answering questions. Maybe next time we'll look more into Vue. But I'm really impressed by all the cool stuff you can do with this library. We only looked at 3 or 4 different primitives, but we can definitely create a whole app with this. And one thing I want to try to do is put a few of these primitives together and create like a larger primitive from it. Here's our tab one. All right. I appreciate everybody. Thank you for watching. If you got some value out of this, make sure you like this, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. Bye. Bye. See everybody.